You know, I wonder if the facility has any rooms that are like double height. I imagine they would. Like, I doubt every machine they have fits in a single story, but we'll never know, will we? We will never know. Would it have really killed this game to name the city you're in? Would it have actually been that difficult? I understand it's not the thing you want to pick lightly, but on the other hand, it's like... It's super weird when Kevin talks about it extensively and never mentions the name of the town. I need to record some games soon, because games is what I do. I need to do the video games. I don't know what game. I guess I could go back to the Gakko Awards. That's always nice. Except when it's not... Except when the tastes are directly diametrically opposed to mine. In which case, it's like trying to swim up shit creek, and my paddle is also made of shit. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to be here. Wonen. Well, this is like, I don't know if there's an English word for it, but when you say you live in a house, you say you woont in a house. We got a word for that. I don't know if you do. Maybe you do. Let's see if you do. No. Oh, dwell and inhabit, I guess, are sort of there, but you never use them. Reside, if you're trying to be uber fancy. The thing that gets me about Anna, and this is kind of very unique to Anna's date, there's a way to call everything. There's the test, there's the date, and then there's the timeout. There's no, like, major overarching anything you can fall back on. Like every date has its own non-date feel to it, which is kind of goofy. It's unique, it's kind of interesting, but again, the writing picking up is just more annoying because it means that clearly the beginning setup could have been better. I don't get this one at all. Like, why would you... I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, it ties into the whole cancer thing nicely. It's like, okay, you're gonna die, so you're naturally gonna try and pick up as many experiences as you can so that your life has been lived to the fullest. But on the same end, it kind of feels like Anna's the kind of person who would go back to her apartment at the end of the day. If only to avoid, like she's the kind of person who doesn't want to let go of modernimities because she needs the modernimities to keep going, to do what she needs to do. But at the same time, it's like, they're terrible. Not that great. Wait, is this... Wow, there's actually... That's not a major thing to point out, but it's kind of goofy. There's like a little space bar there. Although I can imagine if you live around... Actually, no! I sit in an environment where I'm surrounded by technology all the goddamn day, and even I'm not like I want to go into... Like, I want to go into nature, yes, and see some plants, but that's kind of it. Ugh. Why? Okay, I know this is going to sound hypocritical that I'm pointing this out, because earlier I've been like, well, you should do this. But this, as a callback, is shit. Because at this point, what it sounds like is you are gluing yourself to Anna. You're playing to her tastes more than anything. Like before, a lot of the you trying to come on to Anna and sort of play her game is you. Now it's the player character actively doing it. I don't understand why. It's okay at this point. It'd be kind of fucking weird if you decide to blow up the date with a nuclear bomb. But at the same time, at least give some nuance to how you do that. Like, bringing this up is kind of doofy. There's other ways to do it. Like, maybe you're a survivalist. You live in fucking post-apocalyptia. You probably know your shit. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't give you a chance. It just says, okay, you're this now. Great. There goes the open protagonist. I have not worked on that Affinia thing as much as I have. I think I've even gotten rid of the files from the quick select bar. Why is she sad? She was sad here. God damn it, Anna! Could you not? Could you not? Why would you not need them? You live in post-apocalyptia, dumbass. Like, what the fuck is her mood at this point? This feels like it. Like, the way this is written comes across as I get the point. She's chaotic, but at the same time, again, that does not a good writing make. Mixing up shit for like, it feels like it's like she's doing everything for the lulz. And fun fact, an internet troll would not make a good date because no one would actually be like that in real life. Because if they were, they'd probably get murdered in the street at some point. Because they would have no control over. Because that's kind of the thing, isn't it? Like, I don't care what kind of asshole or who you are on the internet. You're going to be different in real life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a nice guy. You might be an asshole in real life. I don't know. Having a face on things changes everything. It changes your mental dynamics. Maybe you hate people, but you're like on the internet, they're not people. So you're nice to the internet people, but you hate the real life people. You know, that's actually... I was, for a moment there, thinking I was going to bulk out some shit, but instead I actually gave like a legitimate reason why someone might be on the internet and not offline. That's... I want to say I'm smart, but at the same time, I'm like, God damn it, is there someone else living in my head who's printing these answers? Because, how? How? I mean... Pretty sure you couldn't survive in an icy environment, Miss Anna. Pretty sure you're gonna need some clothing for that. But aside from that, I just like, suddenly she's being all sassy, and before she was all like, ooh, like, I know keeping the flow to things, but it's too. It's like she has HDHD. It's like she doesn't care about a single topic for long enough to stick to it. I mean, I bitch about the whole thing before, but that was a consistent stream of thought, and now it's just not. I don't know. I feel like I could analyze this better and give a better opinion if I just wrote down the topics, how long each topic is discussed, to kind of point out my point. And how those topics are supposed to flow into each other. Or better set the mood. I think it's just the problem that Anna keeps jumping between fucking facial expressions every 10 seconds. And she's constantly sad, even though the situation's been semi-diffused at this point. Like, that's the weird part. Maybe she's just learned to cry to get what she wants. Because she's like a young kid who goes like if you're in... Actually, I think the opposite would happen. I think if you're like a young kid, a genius in there, people are going to be like, hey, you're a wunderkind, you should not cry. I mean, considering that you've been messing with genetics as much... This is... Like, the problem I have with this statement... Humans do too. This is based on human technology. Not illegal technology for humans, because it's implied that humans use this shit all the damn time. Which means that this is A, not that impressive. B, you probably have to check yourself and don't need Anna for this. And finally, their compatibility is high, so yeah, that's entirely possible. What's kind of weird is there do seem to be hybrids. Like, there's Draconian with wings, and I don't know. It just feels like this has happened. Why are, I guess... Like, the not tampering with genetics things is as flimsy as it gets. Also, scrambling. I wonder what kind of scrambling that is. Is it specific enough? Also, note that the song works so much better for this scene than the song that's actually playing. Isn't that really stupid? Isn't that really freaking stupid? Like, in the first date, Anna was consistently just grumpy. She was just like, eh. She's like, eh. There was some sort of tone to her. And in the second one, it's like, eh. There was some consistency to her. This date and the third date feels a bit bleh. Like, I can see where she's coming from. She's trying to rush things along, and she doesn't care. But here, it's like, there's a personality established where she just goes all over the place. It's like, the Vesk do it better. Like, I feel it would be better if it was more jarring, that'd be greater. You know what would be great? If this was more jarring, and some attention was dragged to it. No one seems to acknowledge Anna's weird mood swings all that much. Everyone talks about Anna's dangerous, but they're probably talking from the perspective of her doing illegal stuff. No one directly seems to address her emotional instabilities, which is weird, because that's something you probably would pick up. And like I said, more sudden. So Anna's consistent. Like, when she doesn't care, she's consistently just steel-faced. And you're basically talking to a wall. But then she's like, oh, you're cute. And she suddenly just lets it all rip, and you're like, whoa. Where's that moment of whoa? I think your character gets to point out to Bryce that he's an alcoholic. You get to point out to Remy that he needs to fix his shit. To Dean that she needs to be a big girl. And to I don't know, to Lorem that, hey, you're doing cool stuff. But to Anna, you don't get to do that. Anna's dates just, It feels like they're supposed to be not dates. It feels like the whole, at the end, you get to kiss her, is completely incidental to the situation. And not the central focus or narrative of any of it. Which would be fine, but the story doesn't sound like it. It doesn't tell me that. And I preferred if I was told what exactly my context was. I'd prefer to know if the sarcastic option actually turns down the quest, or just makes my character say, sarcastic. I can't believe Fallout 4 did that. Well, you people wanted it. I'm not going to go on that rail. That's completely irrelevant. Just look at this. Look at how generic this statement is. I was thinking it must be interesting. That doesn't sound like you're talking to Anna. That sounds like you're talking to Remy, or someone more straight-faced. Like, just a minute ago, Anna was like, you gotta do this thing. And before that, she was like, oh man, I hope you don't mind me sticking... Like, it just goes all over the place. In terms of what the... How do I put this? Like, there's gotta be a word for this. My problem is that the context of what's being said doesn't add up. She ran away from a raid. She came here because she doesn't know why. Because she feels like you're the only person she can actually hang out with without getting kicked out. Like, she needs a place to stay. So on one end, it's kind of like, hey, it's a roof over my head and I don't have to have everything being a mess. Like, I don't know. It's... Like with Bryce, you're being drunk and the whole conversation is things you would do when you're drunk. And you're with the Dean, it's like you're just hanging out being cute. But here it's just like, there's a big, massive elephant in the room and everyone's just sort of ignoring it the whole time. This is a lot. This is so much better. So we can make a new species, but that's not going to happen. Traditions say genetic adjustments are taboo, and you already know how that story goes. Why doesn't she point that out? Why doesn't she refer back to tradition, which is something she hates so much? Like she takes this long to get into it. Why doesn't she say it earlier? Well, like even this just makes it sound more like it's her opinion. Like a lot of these lines, in some regard, feel very, very static and flat. Like they could fit in a more generic conversation. Like, why is she's sad, but she doesn't talk sad. is the point. It's like she's sad and she'd be like, man, we could do so much if we just were allowed to. Not if we wanted to, if we were allowed to. That gives a lot more empathy to it. We can clone, we can scramble, we can make hybrids of all our various species. We could even make a new species, man. If we were allowed to. But we're not. You see, the thing is, traditions say you can't mess with genetics. Because tradition just loves getting in the way of things. Like, look at that. Listen to that. Listen to those lines. Put them just in this context, and suddenly you get a much more emotional experience. Sure, it's not how Anna would talk. She wouldn't say man as much. But suddenly the conversation carries this emotional charge to it. This is so fucking flat. For someone who's going through all the emotions, she's talking like a fucking billboard. No, I want Mr. Billboard. God damn it. There's a board named Bill, and I know where he is. I think he's from Mario or something. It's kind of weird. For a society that's not religious, a lot of their... Like, here's the thing. And I just want to point this out. That is a very Christian thing to say. And the reason that works as an excuse is a large amount of Americans are Christian. Christianity is a massive importance to a lot of cultures. But Christianity is still like a huge deal. Like, the Vatican is still a massive institution with a lot of power, and a lot of other religions have similar opinions, which make up a majority of the human population. But in Dragon World, it's implied that religion is sort of this offhand thing, and yet their entire society's like, hey, don't forget about your religion, boy. Don't you forget to go to church. And it's like, I don't go to church, but don't forget to still do the... Because that's kind of the part that gets me, is what is the excuse? Like, why would you stick to a tradition like this when it's entirely something you invented? Like, I'm pretty sure Izumi was like, you do whatever you want, and she just kind of fucked off. I highly doubt she told him specifically not to. I'm so angry. I'm gonna quit here. This is another topic. Which, again, why why didn't this come up earlier? I don't know. Like, this all happens because Anna's like, hey, I talk about the... It's a flow of conversation, yes, but it just doesn't feel like it fits the... I'm out. Someone please tell me I'm wrong so I can stop being angry all the time. Ugh.